Hi, I'm Amy Klitzner and welcome to my Etsy shop for opal jewelry. On this turntable I'm going to show you all Ethiopian opal pendants. You can select them by number in the drop-down menu. And I'm first going to show you the whole turntable, and then I'm going to go around again and pick them up one at a time and show them to you up close and turn them in the light so that you can really see their color and their opal fire. Opals need light to refract and reflect back their colors. So the first thing you want to do when you buy an opal piece of jewelry is take a look at it under a light when you get it home. And lo and behold, you will see lots and lots of mystery. Now, Ethiopian opal is new on the market compared to Australian opal. Ethiopian opal was discovered somewhere in the 1990s and really didn't come on the market until 2008. And it is exquisite, exquisite opal. And it has tremendous color, and it comes in white or black. Now, Ethiopian opal, you can facet. These are faceted opal pendants here. And you can't do that with a solid white Australian opal. But you can because of the nature of this Ethiopian opal. Now, this is a gem grade opal. The gem grade are the highest grade that opals come in. It is gem grade. In Ethiopian opal, you're looking at the body tone. In this case, the body tone is very clear. And then the color, it exhibits all of the colors in the spectrum. And then the brightness of the color. And this one is very bright, 5 out of 5. And that's what we have, a scale of 1 to 5. Now you notice I have one black glove on. Opals like to show up against black. So I'll show it to you in my hand and also on the black so you can see all the colors. This is a stunning faceted opal. And as we come around, there's another gem grade opal here. Actually, quite a few of these are gem grade. This one I put on this tray to show you what some of my very, very high-end solid large opals look like. And this one actually has its own listing in the shop. So you can find this under opal necklaces in the shop if you want to look at a whole video of just this opal. And I have more like this in the opal necklaces section, and there's a whole video of that collection as well. This is 4.5 carats, and it is 14 by 10 millimeter, and you can see the clarity of the body and the bright 5 out of 5 colors. This is a gem grade, top of the line. You can't get any better than this. Set in solid sterling silver. I also can set those in gold for you, and have some in gold in the opal necklaces section. Now, I'm going to first start off by showing you a comparison of Australian opal to Ethiopian opal. This is an Australian white opal, and I'm going to put it next to the Ethiopian opal so that you can compare them. They're both stunningly beautiful. They look quite different from each other. The white Australian opal tends to be more pastel, and a lot of times has smaller speckles of fire, and the Ethiopian opals sometimes have larger pieces of fire or chaff pattern. Let's see if I can get it even that close for you. Get some more light on it. So you can see that you can see right through the Ethiopian opal, whereas the Australian opal is more opaque. Indeed, some Australian opals are clearer than others. And that's what's wonderful about opals, is that they are all unique. And when you give an opal as a present, you're giving something as unique as the person themselves. So choose an opal that speaks to you, whatever kind you choose, and reminds you of the person. Some opals like this one have vivacious color for a vivacious person, and some are more subdued, so you might choose your opal that way, according to the personality of the person who's going to receive it. Now, I keep hearing this thing where opals are supposed to be bad luck. Now, you have to understand that was a campaign by De Beers. When opals started getting popular in the 1930s and 40s, De Beers started a campaign to say that opals were bad luck. And to this day, I still hear that. Opals are good luck. They are the most beautiful stone in the world. William Shakespeare called them the Queen of Gems. And I can't think of anything better to give somebody than a beautiful, unique opal. This one is perfect for every day. All of these are what I would call an everyday type of pendant. They're a nice size for something to wear all the time. And Ethiopian opals are a little more durable than Australian white opals. So you don't have to worry about breaking your opal. These are quite durable. See if I can get that up close and get that for you. There. There, now you can see it's got delicate fire. An opal is a wonderful thing as you move into different light sources, outdoors, indoors. As the color of the light changes, so will the colors of your opal show up. This is number 5. Number 5 has a lot of green fire, which is very classic color for Ethiopian opal. They tend to have more green fire, and the Australians tend to have more pastel pink fire. But look at all the red fire in this beautiful opal. Now I want to talk to you about how an Ethiopian opal looks like in the rough. The rough is the stone that we cut the precious opal from. And I have a piece of rough Ethiopian opal that I want to show you. And then you can imagine having to cut one of these type of precious opals out of a rough opal like this. This is actually a pendant made out of rough opal. But you can see that Ethiopian opal is riddled with this sand. And I love the rough Ethiopian opal. I have a lot of jewelry made out of the rough. And you can see a whole video of rough Ethiopian opal jewelry in the ready to ship section of my shop. But in this case, it's an example to show you that Ethiopian opal is riddled with this sand. And in order to cut a pure opal, we have to cut just the little piece in between there. We have to find the pristine part of the opal just to cut one of these opals for you. And you can see how difficult that would be. And that's why these opals have unique shapes to them, even patterns on the surface of the opal. And that's because we had to cut around the sand in order to cut out the precious opal from the stone. Beautiful. Now number 8 has speckles in it like the Australian opal does. So some Australian opals have big patchy colors to them, just like some Ethiopians have the speckly color that you mostly see with Australians. Turn on a little more light. There we go. Now these two I've always imagined could be for a man or a woman. They're large and they have a milky color to them, a milky matrix, and you can see that there's green and pink fire in the milky matrix. And I can give you a leather necklace to put those on if you prefer. All of these pendants come with a solid sterling silver chain, length of your choice, 16, 18, or 20 millimeters, 20 inches, excuse me. And these are all set in solid sterling silver. Now this is a gem grade opal here. You can see by the amount of fire and color in the opal. And the gem grade cost me more to procure. And you'll see that the price is higher for the gem grade. But they are less directional, meaning you don't have to be under light at a certain angle in order to see the color and fire in a gem grade opal. They tend to be less directional. Now this little guy, you could just wear every day. A small 7x5mm pendant. Beautiful. Very reasonably priced. Now, you can wear this every day, but don't wear your opal pendants in the shower, because when you get Ethiopian opal wet, it will turn clear temporarily. That's because Ethiopian opal is called a hydrophane opal, and it is very porous. And there's a large amount of water already in them. But when you get it wet, it clarifies, it turns almost totally clear. And you don't want to take a hairdryer or something like that to dry out your opal. You want to go ahead and let it dry naturally. It could take up to 3 days to dry out if you've really soaked your opal. Some people think they're supposed to soak their opals in water when you're not wearing them. That's not true with Ethiopian opal. Some people do that with Australian opal. It won't turn Australian opal clear, but it will turn Ethiopian opal clear. Look at this purple fire. And you can see that the shape that this beautiful opal is cut in, cut away the sand that was in the rock that we had to cut away, like in the rough piece of opal. And I love the different shapes. So you can see that if you cut away on this rough piece of opal, you would get an interestingly shaped precious opal as a result. And that's why these are all in interesting shapes. Now I love this one. This looks like a moonstone to me. Look at this. It's called a rolling flash, when the colors are right on the surface as you roll it in your hand. So these are very hard to take still pictures of. I'm really glad that I'm able to show you a video, because in a still picture this would look mostly white, but you can see that it's a beautiful opal and has all this fire. Sometimes if you put too much light on an opal, it'll just overexpose it. Beautiful. Number 17 has a yellow body. A lot of Ethiopian opals have a green or yellowish toned body. Australian opal is a little bit more of a white colored body, an opaque white body. Let's see. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, like stripes of orange. The Ethiopian opal reminds me of a sunset I saw in Hawaii once. That was so spectacular, and I've never forgotten it. And Ethiopian opal is just like that, like those high cirrus clouds that are wispy and all lit up. That's what Ethiopian opal reminds me of. Just beautiful opal. I do have matching rings in the shop with this interesting shapes to them, and matching earrings. I have an opal earrings section of the shop, and these are the earrings, and they are made in the same sizes and the same sort of shapes as these pendants are made in. And these are all on solid sterling silver. So are the necklaces in solid sterling silver. You really want to wear at least solid sterling silver or gold for your ears, otherwise you get problems with earrings. And people have problems with the earrings, and that's because they're using plated earrings, and the plating is over metals that have nickel in them. And most people are allergic to nickel, but sterling silver doesn't have nickel, and it is a very good metal for your ears. It's got antibacterial properties, so you won't have any problem with solid sterling silver. You should wear that for earrings. And this one is number 18. A wonderful opalescent body to this one. And number 19 has a lot of green in it. And this little flash of fire on the bottom. Now I've come to the faceted opals. And as I said when this was first going around, You can facet Ethiopian opal, but you can't facet a solid white Australian opal. And they are just stunning faceted. It uses up a lot of the opal to do this, so the opals start out a much larger piece of opal, maybe this big, before you facet it like this. Let's see if I can catch the facets for you. And so the faceted opals are understandably more expensive than the otherwise carved opal. And look at the colors in this gem grade opal. Just extraordinary. And I love the way it has this sort of darker milkiness that gets lighter and goes up to the top. Every opal is unique, just as unique as a person. So you want to think of the personality of the opal you're choosing. If the person you're buying it for is vivacious, maybe you want to get them a very vivacious, strong colored opal. And if they are a soft-spoken person, perhaps you want to get them a more milky toned opal. This is a gem grade faceted beautiful opal. Look how clear the body is of this opal. It has a very clear body, and it has every color in the rainbow. This is just a stunning gem grade opal. I'm going to show it to you on black with my black glove here, because they look quite different against the black. Just absolutely stunning. Number 22 has a classic opal, milky opal body to it. Let's see which angle. There you go. Beautiful fire. Beautiful green fire. Gorgeous. This one is an 8 by 10 millimeter size, a really nice size for a pendant. If an opal is too small, then it's hard to see the fire and the color in some of them. And these necklaces are just right for something that you want to wear every day, and it's just big enough to show the color without being so huge that it would be something you wouldn't want to wear every day. So they're just the right size for an everyday piece of jewelry. This one is also an 8 by 10 millimeter. We talk about opal in millimeters rather than carat size most of the time, because what you're interested in is the face size of the opal. When we cut the opal, we can cut it thicker or thinner, and that makes it weigh differently. And so that would be the carat size, would be the total weight of the opal. But what you're interested in is how big does it look on my body? How big does it look when I'm wearing it? And that has to do with the face size. And so I talk about opal in millimeters, 10 by 8 millimeters. And you can see in my hand what size that is. This is a beautiful gem grade opal, number 24. It's got extraordinary fire. Look at that. Get it in focus for you. Look at that fire. 5 out of 5 in the brightness scale. And it's got this lovely classic milky tone to the body. Just beautiful. Beautiful green fire. If you look at this from another angle, that fire is orange. See if I can catch it for you. You'll just have to take it home and put it in different lighting situations to catch all of the colors. There you can see some of the orange from this angle. Just a beautiful, beautiful opal. Can't get more beautiful than that. If you prefer to have your opals in gold rather than silver, write me a note. I can always set one of these in gold for you. I also do have some gold pendants in the shop under the opal necklaces section. But these are all silver to try to keep the price down, and also I really like the way that opals look in the white metal. So this one is one of my top gem grade 4.5 carat 14 by 10 millimeter opals, and I have a whole collection of these very, very high grade gem grade opals, opal pendants and opal earrings, and you can find that in the opal necklaces section of the Etsy shop. And I put this one on here because I wanted to introduce these very, very high grade opals to you. You can see that the colors are 5 out of 5. These are extremely, extremely rare in this size. This is a very large opal, 4.5 carats, a very large size. This makes a real statement, this beautiful opal. And this one has its own listing in the shop. If you look under the opal necklaces section, you'll recognize that this one has its own listing. And then it is also visible again in my collection of gem grade opal necklaces that you'll see in the opal necklaces section. And this beautiful one has a lovely filigree setting and really catches the light with all of these speckles. Beautiful necklace in sterling silver. Everything is solid sterling silver, it's not plated. Beautiful piece. So I'm going to go around the tray one more time, just go around slowly so you can choose wisely now that you've seen them all up close. I have a 14-day return policy on my jewelry. That is 14 days after you've given it away as a gift, assuming that's in a reasonable amount of time from when you bought it. So if you're buying this for a gift, no worries. She can exchange it or return it if she wants another one. But opals are so unique. Look at the different shapes like I talked about, that these are all cut in. And here's that moonstone looking one. And now we get into the faceted opals here. Absolutely stunning opals. I go to great lengths to get you the highest quality opal available. I have these cut especially for me in the sizes that I need. And then I have my opal supplier fly all the way out from Ethiopia to my studio in California, where he shows me each of the opals by themselves. And I look at each one under magnification and make sure it is flawless. If you're worried about an opal breaking, that is often because it might have a little microscopic flaw in it, and then if you whack it on something it could break. So I look at all of mine and make sure that they're flawless, and that they end up being much sturdier opals because of that. And I also choose mine by color, and that's why so many of mine have these beautiful bright colors to them. I'm very picky about it. He cuts the opal for me and then shows me what he has, and I send about half of it back because I only choose the top grade for you. And he knows that, my opal supplier. So I'm very lucky that I have opal suppliers in Ethiopian opal, Australian opal, and opal triplets that come to my studio and allow me to choose the best opal available for you. Thanks for watching my video. I'm always happy to answer questions if you have any. If you want me to call you back, just leave me your phone number. And let me know if you have any questions at all. Thanks for watching my video. I will chat with you soon.